May 6th, day 6. My calendar says today, a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. And I thought, yeah, like that one. And I am really grateful to be back home in my own home. I love being home in my dad's home and my teenage home, but it's so lovely to come back to calm and rest. It was a really amazing but really busy weekend. Really big into my letting go phase. So I today did even more, like making sure there was a pile of things left out for recycling for the next time at home. And as some of you saw on Instagram, I was like gathering some of my mother's old clothes, some of the really, really old pieces, like her vintage pieces. There was bridesmaid dresses and just some gorgeous pieces that she had, and it was time to say goodbye. So on Instagram yesterday, as you know, I shared a little like, does anybody want these? And before anyone even had a chance to reply, I went straight into Katrina O'Carroll Vintage Cat, as you all know her, straight into her DMs. I slid in and went, do you have any interest in these pieces? If you can collect them in Dublin, you're more than welcome to them. And she was like, oh my God, thank you so much for thinking of me. I'd absolutely love them. So we had arranged to meet today, and what had transpired was I said, look, I'm passing. It's on the way in to back home. So why don't I just drop them at your house? No pressure. I hope to be in Dublin around this time, etc. So when you've been following somebody on Instagram, and for me, Kat, when I was doing up this apartment, like 5 years ago, and when my mother hadn't been well, COVID, around those times, like I was like following her stories every day, and you just feel someone because she's so sound, and I knew she would be really sound when I met her. So it was like calling to a friend's house. She's a tonic and she's amazing. And she welcomed me in, and she literally was like, you have a cup of tea, you have a cup of tea. And I was like, no, 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 you're fine. She had a box of chocolates and a bottle of wine to give me for the clothes I was giving her. And initially, the Irish, oh, geez, I won't take that. But in the spirit of receiving, I was like, thank you, I will. Again, very systemic coaching is that, balance of exchange. But I've gotten so much from Cash down to the years in terms of her comedy, her videos, tips on just, her go get 'em attitude just on as a woman to do up her own home. And she showed me around, and oh my God, it's as you see it. She's gorgeous pieces. It's really, really tasty, but just really eclectic and really like, you just love to have that eye. And I got to tell her a little bit about my mother as well and the pieces. And I even sent her today some images that I'm going to share of my mother wearing one of the dresses in particular, because it was absolutely stunning. Now they do need a little bit of love because like there's no dry cleaning. Nobody could afford to do dry cleaning in the 60s and 70s. So yeah, really, really special. And yeah, other than that, I just came back and just rested. I'm absolutely exhausted. I have a busy kind of work week and I have a lot to do, some deadlines. As I've mentioned, I'm doing my website at the moment, so I've things to do this week. I also have a really, really good friend and former colleague coming to visit from Germany, and I can't wait to see her. So that's going to be really lovely on Thursday as well. So yeah, that's kind of me, really. I am in, I suppose, restful, contemplative, and really, really grateful for such a lovely weekend, from confirmation on Friday to just jobs and things being done Saturday, Sunday. And today was just an extra bonus. I wasn't meant to stay, and in the end, I just decided to stay last night. I was so tired and glad to take the time. So yeah, now I start decluttering this house. It's like you're finished with one house and it's time to move on to the next one. But yeah, there's a lot of letting go that needs to happen in this house too. I'm not done. I started a lot of it earlier on in the year and I've given away a lot of books. Next up are more clothes and yeah, just letting go things that I no longer need and seeing what happens as a result. So thanks again for listening. Thanks for all your lovely comments. I know many of you are watching along and sometimes you don't get a chance. So whenever you get to see them, you get to see them. But again, for you, your top tip, as you head into a shorter week, is start noticing the compliments, start noticing just different things when you are when you're really grateful, you're magnetizing something special. So remain curious, remain hopeful. I was listening just there to a podcast with Rhonda Byrne, the woman who wrote The Secret, and it was her first ever book. She'd never written a book. And, her kind of, I suppose, the side of her that was like, you can't write. And she was like, yes, I can. I'm an author. And all she did was just visualize her books and bookstores. But she didn't just think it. She really, really, really felt it would be number one. She sold 34 million copies of The Secret. It's a fascinating podcast. And just before I go, actually, I've just been binging on podcasts because I have a keynote. I am doing a keynote for just under 100 people on Saturday for a charity called the Chiroptimists. Some of you might remember them when you were in school. They're a women's organisation that help young girls to have the lives and careers they deserve. Really, really amazing charity. And they have their national day out and their conference on Saturday, and I'm doing their keynote, and then I'm going to be on a panel, so I have a lot of work to do for that this week, but I'm really excited, a chance to meet a group of people I don't know at all, but that's a really big focus of mine this week, so I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of me reflecting, and my videos might be extra short this week as I prepare for that, because that's pretty special. So there you go. Have a lovely evening, and I'll share you a little bit about my day as well. Take care. Thanks. God bless my father's energy. We were back out walking again, this time on a new road. Very exciting. And then in the afternoon, it was time to head back to Dublin. Always sad. You always see my dad standing at the door waving goodbye. I didn't film him out of respect. I was so lucky that I got an opportunity to meet Vintage Irish Cat, as she's known as on Instagram, and she showed me around her amazing house, and it was just such a light. It's like meeting somebody you knew. She's just such a brilliant person, just so cool. The whole thing was just so cool. It was like going to a friend's house for tea. This is one of the dresses that I gave her, that my mother owned. I did keep her wedding address, and this was my mother, very cool in the 90s, and again, very cool in the 60s. Also, my 2 earrings reunited when I got back to Dublin, and doing some advertising for this receiving. Thanks for watching and subscribing. See you tomorrow.